Hi there, and welcome to the 1001up.com podcast, where this week we're going to be talking about EGX 2014 over the next half an hour, 45 minutes or so. But as we always do at the start of these things first, just thank you so much for supporting the site and downloading this or viewing it on YouTube. We really hope you enjoy what you're about to hear. And as always, please feel free to leave us some comments on the site or Facebook or Twitter, where we're at 1001up. And while you're there, of course, just click as many like buttons as you can. Right, who do we have here today? Usual introduction, I will say a name, they'll say hello, and then we'll crack on. So first of all, we've got Kim. Oh, Kim, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, cut out then.
Yeah, she's there. No, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. That's Kim's voice, by the way. Phil?
Hello, this
Hello,
is Phil's
Phil.
voice.
Yes. And there's me, Ben, talking over the top of them. Just to try and put structure on these things as we do, what I think we'll talk about is our overall impressions of it, what we found good, what we found bad, and what surprised us. And hopefully that will give us enough to go through before we wrap up. And of course we'll tell you all about the games we got our grubby little mitts on. Before the podcast started, we had a little chat, and because it was my first time at EGX, I was given the dubious task to open the proceedings, which I will do. But I think before then, it's just worth just kind of, for those who haven't been and are listening to this, describing what it's like. Earl's Court. It's in central London. It's a big kind of well-established venue, exhibition hall, and where EGX sits is over two floors. Is on the ground floor, and then there's a first floor which is accessed kind of by an escalator. The ground floor is where all the big, and it's a massive kind of space. It's where all the big demos are. So you've got Sony taking a massive area with the PlayStation stuff. You've got Microsoft and their Xbox. Nintendo do a great big stand as well, and they were running on probably almost a cinema-sized screen, like a Smash Brothers tournament. There were other events going on. There was a huge Minecraft area, but it's all kind of big, loud. Lego Batman was there, so was Batman Arkham Knight. Big, loud AAA, if you will, stands. Then on the first floor, they had what they call the 18+ area, which was the games that, as you'd expect, were 18+. So they had Mortal Kombat there, some Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Shadow of Mordor. That was all on display in the 18+ area. They had another big cinema screen up there. That was for this fighting tournament, which was Street Fighter 4 something mega super hyper duper edition or something. That was all being fought, and then kind of tucked away a little bit at the back was the indie area, which was in two chunks. You had the Resd zone, which was where the indie developers, much like they do at Resd, demonstrate their wares on a stand by stand basis, and they also had the one sponsored by Sega, and the name escapes me. Guys, help!
Nope. Sorry, go on, Phil.
The Sony area.
No, the Sega one.
The Sega
one. They had the game. Remember that game which is all the lights, and also what?
Yeah, it's a bunch of indie games, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, but they were the really small ones there, and also on the top floor was the press area, and next to that was the National Film and Television School zone, where you will probably see on the site. We've got all of our interviews, and we had a lot of good chat with the guys there, and it's a dedicated university course to doing it. So that's hopefully that sets a picture. I mean, if you go on the website, there's lots and lots of pictures. If you check out 1001up.com, you'll see our videos, you'll see our pictures of it, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what was going on. And yeah, so for me, I think, taking a step back, I was naive going into it. I thought it would be it'd be developers across the board, so lots and lots of people, the guys actually making the games, whether it be from Sony all the way down to the little indie guys. I thought I'd get to meet those of those. And on the indie scene, I was kind of right. I mean, because the teams are so small, the people presenting it are often the people building it. But what I wasn't expecting was to have kind of zero access to people at Sony, to Ubisoft, to Microsoft. They were all big PR people who just didn't really know about the games, just there to market them. and that kind of caught me off guard because there's a lot of questions I want to ask and I couldn't. And I don't know. I mean, guys, you've been to these things before. Is that the sort of thing that you found in the past?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We always compare it to going to the theme park, where they put you in a queue, you get into the ride for 10 minutes, and you're out of the queue, out of the ride, sorry, back in the queue again if you want to have another go. It's very much that style. Quick thrill, and that's it. No much more feeling than that.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. I mean, to me as well, it did. I wasn't quite prepared for the amount of queuing that was needed.
Yeah.
If you wanted to play a game, in some places it was kind of 45 minutes to an hour, which again just kind of. I can appreciate why you might want to do that, but yeah, you're right. It kind of become like a thing, especially like I say, the PlayStations, Microsofts, and Nintendos of this world. It really had become like a theme park. There's no better way of describing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of the reasons why, as a whole, we've always said that we prefer Res. Is because, like, obviously you do tend to find the queues are shorter and you kind of get a bit more gameplay time. But then at the same time, you talk to people that actually know about the games that are there, and it feels less commercial, if you like. It's more sort of more. It sounds weird, but it's more for people that are actually interested in the games rather than your typical, like, no offense to anyone out there, but your typical Call of Duty player.
Yeah, there was definitely a. I mean, all the interesting stuff for me came from the Res area, from meeting the indie guys.
Yeah, definitely.
The big publishers were just there to advertise their games. Well, that's the feeling I got.
Then I thought, like, for me, that was one of the positive points of EGX this year, was the fact that they'd devoted at least twice the amount of space to the Res and the Left Field collection as they have done in any other year that we've attended. That was really refreshing to see.
Yeah.
Well, I think as well, it's because the big publishers, indie stuff isn't just on PC now. Sony, Microsoft, they're all really pushing. I mean, even Nintendo. If you take Stealth Inc. 2, that's Curve Studios. That's coming out in the next month or so, I think, and that's only going to be on the Wii U, or at least for a limited time. And that's great, So all of the major console publishers are embracing it.
Well, that's
fed through.
That's the thing I noticed this year was the not just the support from those sides, from Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, but also I noticed as we talked to some developers, they were kind of supporting or suggesting that Sony supports them more than the others at the moment. And,
actually, a few said that.
And I was quite surprised. I'm happy with that because I'm a Sony Apple guy rather than the Microsoft whatever, and it was good to hear that. I mean, some part of the draw for the PS4 for me when they first announced it was that, oh wow, they're really getting with the indie developers here, and they announced Outlast, they announced a few other big indie games like that they were going to support, and it's not just support, but it's self-publishing, so they don't have to pay Sony any fees. They can just sign up, sell their game themselves without no rules, without no restrictions. I'm really pleased to hear Sony are doing that best at the moment. It sounds like, and it's given them one up over Microsoft, really.
No, completely. I had a conversation with someone. It was either earlier today or yesterday, and we were talking about when would be the right time to upgrade to an Xbox One. And the result of the conversation was that until MS start supporting indie developers more, then I wouldn't bother. So yeah, I'm in complete agreement with Phil. Like, go Sony.
I think just for the sake of balance, dear listener, is that Microsoft have got a very active indie program. They're just a little bit behind. By a little bit, I mean quite a lot. But they are behind Sony, and as a result, everything that's been in maybe development for a year, with all the PlayStation 4 packs and everything, it's proving maybe a slightly tougher task to cross it over to Xbox One. So give it another couple of years, and I think Microsoft will be on a par. But Sony have certainly stolen the march. Sorry, and actually, I like Phil. I kind of hold my hands up. I'm as I speak, I'm looking at the PlayStation 4 and a MacBook Pro. So I can't. And I've got my Vita charging upstairs. I'm not, I can't.
But, I mean, I've always generally been like an MS Xbox person, But for me as a consumer at EGX, it was fairly obvious that they are behind the game. I'm sorry, but we are.
No, they are, and there's no doubting that. But I think they are. They have recognised that and are catching up. But that's a
Yeah.
conversation for another day. That's for another
It
day.
is, yeah.
Very
Today, it's all about EGX, and actually, the indie games we saw there were brilliant, and the people there, the guys making them, they're not. Not that I was expecting them to be, but I just think that the general public perhaps weren't probably quite as ready for the fact that these people are quite chatty. They're very engaged. They're very passionate about what they do and knowledgeable. But most importantly, they are gamers as well.
Yeah.
And I think that really came across.
Yeah, it's a really nice experience to being able to sit down, play a demo for half an hour, and then turn around and the guy who's made it is standing behind you. So you know what I mean? Like just be able to get sort of actually chat to the person who made that.
That's why we love Rezzed much more than EGX earlier in the year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, EGX.
EGX earlier in the year was just as good as any before. I mean, they did have Alien Isolation there as their main thing, which obviously is a fully published and big title. Other than that, they had the Yogscast crew there, and then they had some other published stuff in the developer sessions, such as Dying Light. But generally, it's pure indie. We had so much fun then. And don't get me wrong, we managed to meet up with those same developers again at the EGX last month. We had the same benefits, and that's, I think, why we were quite happy with EGX this year. It was much better than last year.
Definitely.
Still not as good as Res, though. We'll still never have that same feeling about it as we do with Res.
Well, I think as well what I took from the Res section and the indie guys I met there was there's a real sense of community because we'd just been interviewing Flix Interactive. By the way, who gave us a world first look at the latest build.
Yeah, they are awesome guys.
That was just superb.
Yeah, big up Flix.
World.
Thank you, guys.
It's like yes. We felt like I felt like a proper journalist. It was incredible. But we just met up with them and we were having a chat after we kind of stopped the cameras rolling and they turned around and said, oh yeah, you got to check out Calvino Noir and LA Cops and all these guys because they're really good and they're really nice blokes. And truthful, we took the advice. We went and met them and actually absolutely top blokes. And of course you can see our impressions of them on the site.
Of course.
So yeah, that whole sense of community where they all know each other and they all get on. And they're all kind of really supportive and kind of helpful, and everyone wants to see everyone else's game succeed is a really positive thing.
Yeah, and I do use the term very loosely, but as journalists, if you like, it's really nice to go along to those events and then feel as if you're actually a part of that, or that these people are welcoming you into that.
Yeah, it's very rewarding.
It is, and having your kind of views and thoughts on what they're doing, just kind of respected and listened to.
Yeah.
Is a really good thing because especially I think as well because a lot of them they're probably quite fed up of same old questions, and if you try and ask something a little bit different or talk to them,
they're just happy to talk about it.
And they are so passionate. I mean, they absolutely love what they're doing.
It does kind of like make you hopeful for sort of the future of gaming. Like you kind of go there, you see all these people that they've never demoed their stuff before. This is the first time that anyone outside of their team has played it, but yet they've actually got a good idea, or you can kind of see where they're going with it, and it's just like want to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of them, you can turn around and say, well, this did or didn't work. There was a bug here. This was too easy, and they're quite happy to take that feedback away and work on it. And they just ignore you, or you're not just talking to a brick wall for a person that can't do anything about it.
Yeah, well, a good example of that is that Phil and I were actually playing an adventure game, and there was one bit on it that we just couldn't figure out what to do. And the next day, I looked at the dev's blog, a blog post that he put out, and he'd actually put that he had changed this section of the game for the following day.
Yeah.
And so he'd obviously been watching people playing and picked up on that. And then you kind of think, okay, like we, in some way, had some effect on that. And that's really nice to see that, you feel like you're being listened to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
No, that is good, and you compare it to something like because I was really excited because again, you know, I posted it on the site. One of the things I was hoping to do was to try out Assassin's Creed Unity and see what all the next gen stuff was going to be like, because I haven't been overly enthused from the stuff I've seen so far, and so there it was. I thought, yeah, I'd get a demo, actually get my hands on it, have a play, and I queued, and then I was kind of, there were some Ubisoft reps in the queue who didn't really know much about the development or anything about the development of the game. I mean, it was all like, oh, who's your favourite character? What do you think of the history of this series? And it's like, oh, that's not really what I want to talk to you about. And then we got in, and it was just a gameplay video. Okay, it was a live play. I mean, there's a play tester playing it there, but it didn't. You know, I couldn't really ask any questions. I couldn't get my hands on it. I couldn't really play. It just felt. It felt like they weren't ready, and you know, it's out in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Crikey. And as well, it looked just like all the other Assassin's Creed games, but just a bit prettier. And there wasn't any of the 4-player co-op, any of the new weaponry, any of that new sort of stuff that I was really kind of, that needs to kind of get me back on board now that I haven't got the boats again. And yeah, I just felt very disappointed by it.
I can't, like, in the sort of moving away from the indie stuff, anything else, I can't really put my hands on my heart and say that there was anything that I noticed. There was nothing that really stood out for me on the bottom floor.
When you guys were working with special effect, and I, heartless capitalist I am, I wandered around the Sony and the Microsoft areas, and I found myself playing Nidhogg on PlayStation 4, which again, it's another indie game, but it's just being demoed down there. That was absolutely brilliant. But apart from that, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's no I didn't have any FIFA, any Call of Duty, any. In fact, the biggest budget game I played was Mortal Kombat X.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, actually, yeah, that was
good. Yeah.
That wasn't on the ground floor; it was on the top floor because it was 18 plus. But yeah, that was awesome.
And just as a hint to anyone out there, it's actually out the day before my birthday.
Yeah.
So, you know, if anyone would like to donate a birthday present, it would be gratefully received.
Yeah, I think to the people listening to that was aimed at Phil and I.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was quite surprised by that game, actually. It's about 6 months away, and it was that good already.
But
yeah,
it
well,
looks so beautiful, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
It's a bit of a gory fighting game, but
Oh,
it
yes.
looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah, well, if you want to see a skull ripped out of someone's
in a rather beautiful way.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. No, yeah, but it does. But it was so slick and fluid, and yes, they only have about 6 fighters to choose from. But I like the way they're doing that, because they've clearly got everything ready, and they're just balancing each of these fighters up. And once they're ready, they're released.
Already, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And slow-mo makes anything look beautiful.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, stabbing something through someone's eyes can look beautiful in slow.
But you kind of make that comparison. Like, you look at Mortal Kombat, look how slick that was, and it's still 6 months, to go. Compared to Assassin's Creed, where all you got to do was potentially sit down and watch a bit of promotional material. It's, I don't know, it kind of feels like they missed a trick.
Yeah, lazy.
Yeah, completely.
Like, you could. The thing is, as well, you can play Far Cry 4, which is still a few months away. You can play Assassin's Creed Rogue. What else did Ubisoft show? Oh, those are the two big ones anyway that kind of leapt to mind. Oh, Trials Fusion was on display, and yet the massive game of the year, you couldn't play, and it was a month and a bit away.
It's quite scary. It's quite scary. The biggest, they don't care, or they don't feel that they need to bother to.
Well, maybe they're just like going off of the name. Do you know what I mean? Like,
they've got a good formula.
Yeah.
They're guaranteed sales. Yeah.
They've got a dedicated following already, so what is EGX to them? Like, nothing. It's just that's right. EGX a Eurogamer, but it's just a tiny event in London.
I think what worries me most of all is actually there's going to be a lot of people, whether it's in France, Montreal, or wherever, working a lot of ungodly hours, I think, to get that over the line, to meet the release date, and that really saddens me.
It will certainly be interesting to see what the first word is after the release.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it'll score well. it will review well because the premise is good. You know, you get to you get to run around being an assassin again. You know what you're going to get. It's going to have high production values. Trust me, it looks pretty, really, really, really pretty. There's loads more people out there. You know, it looked like all the other Assassin's Creed games, but updated. And if they can pull off the co-op and all of that sort of stuff as well, it will do very, very well. It will score well.
But can they do that in that short period of time?
I don't know. Well, that's the big test, isn't it? But I'm
We'll
sure they will.
We'll see.
They've got enough money to throw at it. So for me, that was it. I think the good and the surprise were kind of linked. For me, it was the surprise on how good the indie area was and how open the developers were.
Yeah.
And the bad was actually the big companies were just. It was just advertising. It was a theme park. It was. It wasn't what I expected. I really want to. I don't know because I follow people like some of the guys on Twitter who are like the big PR guys for the Sony and Microsoft and stuff, and they were all there, but their presence, you know, they didn't strike me as being particularly visible.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like they don't really care.
Yeah. Oh, I think as well the time I felt most like a member of the press, not only with the wristband, was when Phil and I went to the Square Enix.
Oh yeah,
that's
good.
And we dropped me.
And yes, I know. Well, you were NFI'd. You only had two of us. But we were in a room and we were being shown stuff with other members of the press. Some of whom I recognised. One of whom I keep meaning to say hello to, but I bottled it. It was really bad. So Laura Dale, not that I'm expecting you to listen to this. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
No, she's great. If you follow her, I think it's Laura K Buzz on Twitter. Follow it. It's really, really, really good stuff.
You should have mentioned, Ben. I would have dragged you over there.
Oh yeah, no, I know, I know. And the thing is, I saw her a few times, and every time I was just like, oh, bold, damn it.
Get your business card out.
Yeah, the other two as well. Matt Lees, I should have spoken to him.
Oh, I didn't see him. Yeah.
I saw him on the Friday, very briefly. He was in an awful rush.
Oh, okay.
He spoke to someone. Oh, where's the dev session for this? And it was up there, and then he just sprinted away. So I didn't really get the chance. And Mike Bithell, I do want to speak to him. And I was there on my Todd in the press area, just kind of chilling out because my brain was kind of melting a little bit. And he walked straight past, and again bottled it. Starstruck, 35 years old. It's a disgrace.
Oh, you should have come with me to the BAFTA media thing, because there was about half an hour of mingling before. You could have had a good old chat with him. He was available.
Yeah, and who did Phil sit next to?
And I sat next to him.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about this. It's quite funny because they had all the seating for the presentation. I thought I'd sit at the front. I sat at the front on the left, realised the lighting for the photos would be wrong, moved over to the right, and unfortunately that's where all the presenters were going to sit. So they all sit down. I was on the last seat. The last guy who started the presentation sort of hovered. And I was like, "Oh, I was really sorry. Do you want me to get out of the way?" He said, "No, that's fine. Stay there." So he went off and started presenting, and he started saying, "I've got a group of people going to stand up and talk today, except for him on the end. But you can talk if you'd like to." And I got funny looks from the people there. So yeah.
You should have promoted the site, Phil. That was
a
perfect opportunity.
You know what? If that had been me, I'd have gone, all right.
Ben would have taken over.
Yeah, it'd have been great. I have no idea what I would have spoken about.
Oh, anyway, it was an important subject, the BAFTA thing. I did an article, obviously, but I can imagine you standing up and actually giving your opinions on it, Ben.
Yeah, no problems. Yeah, that was the other. Actually, that was the best thing. The best thing that came out of EGX was I got the interview bug.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yes.
absolutely loved it. Yeah. For those of you,
plenty more interviews from Ben in the future.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
yeah.
How many did we get? I can't think now.
Shed loads. I mean, like we. You know what? Oh God.
We got 6 on the National Film Television School.
Oh, was that 6? I thought it was
6
4.
with them. Calvino,
LA Cops, Monstrum.
Congo.
Guys, try all these games, by the way. They're really, really good. Congo as well.
And
yeah,
of
we've
course,
also had a few interviews by email since, so go to the site, go check them out.
Yeah, check out the email ones, and hopefully, again, just follow on the lovely chaps at Flix Interactive.
Oh yes,
We did interview them. I
John and
promise
Kyle.
we have photographic evidence, but we're not allowed to talk about it yet.
Yes,
Stay tuned.
But when
indeed.
we do, we mention our world's first again.
Oh, of course.
Did we mention that? Or did
No, I don't think we did.
Well, not just that. Our media room,
Our media
our
room, yeah.
press room.
I like to call it media suite.
Exactly. So it
Yeah,
was a good year.
yeah, no. Well, I tell you what. If you are a developer and listening to this, we will try and do the same at Resd. In fact, we'll try and get the room for the whole day, and we just sit there and talk to you. It'd be great.
But
But
actually, on the subject of red, right, this is something that I'd like to get up, and I know you two know that I have a bit of an issue with this. But in the past, like for those who don't know, at Res, as part of the press, we were able to apply for press tickets, and we could previously get those for any day. So again, just for people who don't know, you're allowed 2 people from each side for 2 days. And that's kind of suited us because it means that we get a couple of days of kind of attendees and we can do stuff that we want to do personally. And then we get a couple of days sort of getting material for the site. So obviously with the change, the move from Birmingham down to London, so next year, next March, Res is going to be at Tobacco Dock. And we've now decided to only get the press in for 1 day, and that's the first day of the event. So essentially, it's going to turn that first Thursday into a press day. So, I don't know, like for me, I know I can kind of understand why they're doing it. Because one of the things that Ben picked up on at being his first time at EGX was how many essentially kids there were in the press area. So obviously it's a good thing in that the sense there'll be less press tickets available, so they'll cut down on those kind of people, if you like. But then on the other hand, I mean, for us, trying to cover an entire event in 1 day, just not possible. It's going to be so long.
yeah, I think on that, I mean, we, without wanting to have an air of entitlement about it, we are there. We run a website. We want to ask. We want to meet and understand these people and be able to like give loads and loads and loads of content. And I'm sure there are lots of people who are quite young and do this too, possibly for school projects and stuff. But I imagine as a result, Eurogamer or whoever organised it are just so flooded that they've probably actually tried to limit it. And I imagine one of the reasons it is on a Thursday is that it's on a school day, which might make it difficult for people to go there as press. But I agree, it means we're going to have to try and squeeze an awful lot in, and also there's more competition for tickets.
Yeah, well the thing is that they've obviously narrowed it down from 2 days to 1 day, and that 1 day is a dedicated day. They're still only allowed 2 people in, so we've kind of got to do 3 days worth of work, but only between 2 people in the space of 1 day.
Yeah.
And with developer sessions that show, it's different sessions on different days, so we can only, as press, cover those on the first day.
Yeah, so I mean, again, probably a little bit off topic, but we will have to work out a strategy of getting in, and we will, we'll just have to buy tickets for all days and speak to them. But again, that's probably another one for another time.
Very true.
EGX was, I thought, catered to the press very well. Actually, if I'm honest with you, I thought the area was dedicated. It was good. It was, it actually, it gave you a bit of headspace, especially when, my notebook was absolutely crammed full of stuff, and just to sit down and collect your thoughts, and it was quiet enough, because I think that was one of the other things, just leading on from that, was that the volume, again, it goes back to the theme park thing of the downstairs with all the big shows and the loud game demos and all that going on. It made it very hard to think. It was that
you only
noisy.
realise how noisy it is when you step outside into the quiet.
Or when you're trying to play a game, especially some of the quieter ones or the scarier ones that involve it, or from my perspective, one of the ones I found really interesting, Beyond Eyes. Again, Tiger and Squid, check it out. It's going to be hopefully huge next year. I'm really excited about that. When I was playing Beyond Eyes, which is a game about guiding a blind girl, so your sense of sound is a really important aspect to that game. I couldn't hear it, and you miss out on a lot of the power of the demos when even with headphones you can't actually hear what's going on because the noise is so loud.
But when you're trying to interview Flicks Interactive and you've got a developer session going on behind you.
Yeah. It's taking some effort to get that out of the way. To try and noise reduction that thing out of the way. God.
Yeah. Well, actually, the public should decide on that. So if you're listening to this, go on YouTube, have a look at our videos and our interviews. If you like them, give them a thumbs up. If you don't, give them a thumbs down. And if you don't, just tell us why.
Yes.
Phil, remind me what our YouTube is again? It's 1001 Up Team.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it.
Yeah, so check out 1001 Up Team on YouTube. You get to see me bumble my way through talking to developers. Be gentle. So what else? So EGX theme park.
There's a new attendee, if you like. What was your sort of overall thoughts of it?
Me?
Yeah.
My overall thoughts of EGX, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant because it showed all the various aspects of the game industry, and I thought it showed them in a good light.
Yeah.
Obviously, things again not for now, like Gamergate, were starting to bubble away in the background at that. That was the kind of early days of it, and there were a lot of I don't know quite how else to describe them apart from stereotypical sweaty man children.
Well, there's one thing we haven't mentioned, Ben, which is the cosplay. What did you think of that?
Cosplay is brilliant.
Yeah.
The effort that people put into them.
Because is this your first experience, really, or you've had better experience before, or what? With general cosplay events.
No, with events, no, it's my first one.
Yeah.
And as with all things, the standard varies. But to be fair, I can't possibly criticise anything because the effort and actually it's a real kind of look. I'm a fan of this particular game, this genre, this whatever, and this is my passion, and this is my way of expressing my passion. Us, it's running the website and writing about it and talking about it and meeting the guys. For them, it's dressing up as their favourite computer game characters or characters full stop, and some of them were fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe another world exclusive might be Ben dressing up as Batman at Red.
That's. I mean, I don't have the skill to put. I mean, I'm married to a seamstress, so that does put the old can't sew a costume together argument out. But well, we'll see. We will see. I don't know how well it will go down interviewing people as Batman, but we will. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
You got to put the voice on.
You two as Batman and Joker, how could it not go down?
I know.
Just put the Christian Bale voice on.
I don't think I can. Well, I won't unleash it now.
No, don't.
I have to practice it.
I could, but I won't.
Oh, come on, Phil does a really good impression.
Go on.
Well, I don't know if it
This
sounds.
is your audition.
Well, over a microphone, it might be the same. Where is she?
Oh, it's genius.
I probably just hurt everyone's ears. Sorry.
Yeah. That's perfect. I'll go as Joker.
Or Joker, yes, actually Joker.
Yeah,
I'll do that
I'll
too.
go as Joker. You've got to go as Batman.
Why so serious? Sorry.
This is good. This is good. You've got a secret double life as an impressionist.
Yeah, we'll see how that comes out on the recording.
It will come out
we might
brilliantly
see
on the
that.
recording.
It's going to be cringing.
In fact, you should put a bookmark on it on YouTube. This is the point at which Phil does his bat voice.
Yeah.
And if you go to that point and just hear some soothing jazz music, you know it didn't come out that well.
Yeah.
I forgot. Cosplay. So cosplay is brilliant. I'm really impressed with it. We met a really nice Assassin's Creed group.
And we must mention the Lara Croft, who we persuaded to sign up for Special Effects Games Lab.
That was an awesome Lara Croft. That was brilliant. And Solid Snake as well. That's an awesome snake.
Oh, yeah.
A brilliant couple they were. Spent some time talking to them. Really nice.
Oh, and the we got mentioned penguin as well because he was awesome.
Oh, the penguin, yeah, with the
So,
little penguin. That was awesome. Yeah.
are the a picture of these guys up on the
Oh
site now?
yes.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
Yeah.
look at
Check it out.
Tim's done his top 10 of picks
Mm.
on my best of EGX cosplay.
Oh, speaking of which, you should probably mention number one spot.
Of course, it was a Ghostbuster, and this guy had made an awesome proton pack. I keep saying awesome, sorry. Sound effects and everything, and he took the time to explain how he made it on the top 10 as well.
Oh yeah, and
Really
something
good.
that I'd like to mention about him, just how dedicated to the cause he was because I actually saw him at Tower Hill Underground Station,
Oh, wow.
dressed up in the full gear. Full gear. So fair play to him.
Really
That's some hardcore cosplay. Sorry, I just go back. It was the Birds of Truth Assassin's Creed cosplay
That's
that we
right.
saw. See him on Twitter, BOT Assassins.
And they were brought in by Ubisoft to promote it too.
Yeah.
So it shows what you can
And
actually
to be
do.
fair, they did a better job than Ubisoft did. So I can't, I can't knock them. Yeah, no, they were all really, really, really nice. The retro area was quite good fun as well. I like the retro
Oh
area.
yeah,
I got to
Phil
play
got his
Duck
ass
Hunt.
kicked at Street Fighter again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Phil, I mean,
Uh,
every website needs a fighting game whipping boy, and it's you.
Yeah, so we do.
and of course,
Yeah.
Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt, I love Duck Hunt. That took me
And
back.
the pro.
I'm a pro because it's the only game I was able to play for like 2 years of my life. Yeah, I'm that old. I remember it when it came out. My next door neighbour had it, and I'd like go around after school every day, play Duck Hunt and Mario Brothers.
Oh, and of course, the other good thing, we met up with our other friend Ben.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Ben.
Yeah, he reminded me of Sideshow Bob with that hair. From
We
Sideshow
love
Bob.
Ben. Ben, if you're listening, we're looking forward to seeing you at Res.
Yes, he's a
Yes.
member of staff for the event.
Yeah, and don't cut your hair. Just cultivate.
Yeah, leave it.
It's beautiful. Oh God, yeah. There's so much you're just talking the memory card. You'll see it again. We mentioned it earlier. It's on the site now. The National Film and Television School. Really engaging guys.
Oh, they were so lovely, weren't they?
Yeah, if you want to pursue a career path in computer games, and I don't know I think you already need to have a degree. I'm not sure, but they do a master's. It's a 2 year course at the National Film and Television School, all about game design. They will take you from nothing to publishing a game effectively. And if that's apply there if that's a career path you want to take, because they genuinely seem to be on the right track with that.
So someone else we should probably mention is that for those who don't know, Bill and I actually volunteered for charity special effects while we were at EGX for one day, and we had the lovely Chloe volunteering with us. So if she's listening, hi to Chloe.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
And you'll see an interview with her soon about her part in the game jams and creating some quick but fun games.
Which again is a very positive thing, because the wider women in the games industry thing at the moment to actually meet kind of a passionate young woman who wants to make a career in games, I think is incredibly important.
Well said.
What else did I love about EGX?
Just everything, Ben.
I did. I had such a good time. Right? Ubisoft spoiled it. No, I think like I say, it was the representative kind of sample from every part of the games fandom industry, and all that was there. Because yes, I'll go back to my sweaty man child one, but and actually the male population there was massive. I mean, I'm kind of thinking, I don't know what you guys thought, but at least 90% were men there. Although a lot of the ladies there I saw weren't just kind of girlfriends dragged along for the ride, which I know sounds horrible. But
Probably like an observation we should make is that like Finn and I noticed that last year's EGX there were a lot of sort of young female school children, and they didn't really seem to be there for the games. To be perfectly honest, it was more to sort of hang out with the boys. And this year there wasn't as much of that. It was kind of nice to see that the young girls that were there were genuinely interested in the games.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely noticed there's more this year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Previous. Just good news.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, it just shows that, and again, I think like we'll do a podcast on Gamergate at some point. But again, EGX to me showed it felt like actually this is games are in the mainstream now. This is a step forward. I appreciate in the last couple of weeks it's taken a massive step backwards, but which is a bit of a recurring thing. But it did feel like actually it's getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Gaming
It was definitely
is
more positive this year.
yeah. So what else? Yeah, because you guys saw The Evil Within, didn't you? What do you think
Oh,
of that?
yes. Thank you for Bethesda for giving us 10 minutes for no, let's have some time with it. Even explaining a few things like this is the room where you're better level up, and here's how you get past this puzzle. But then 10 minutes after that, sorry, you have to go now. You have to leave now. Just as we were enjoying it. So I have no idea what it's like yet. I hear it's quite hard, but that the little bit we played seems to be quite interesting. But
Don't forget to thank them for that cardboard head thing you got given.
oh yeah, they're giving out the
Safe for wear.
the safe looking thing, yeah, which
That
was
you
what
can actually
everyone
wear on
carried.
your head and then open the door.
Which most
It was great advertising because there's a load of people walking around with them on.
they're using it to store their loot to make it easier to carry. That's what we've discovered.
Yeah,
So
brilliant.
basically, we're summing it up by saying EGX is all about the loot.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I got a free Transformers T-shirt.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You sell out.
I know it's too big for me. It's like a tent. I mean, and I made the mistake as well. I should do this, but I promise we'll wrap up in a second. But I've got to share my Transformers T-shirt thing. So I played Transformers Universe, which is kind of all right. I think it's got a way to go, but it's in open beta. You can check it out. TransformersUniverse.com. Jagex are doing it. And I was having a chat with them afterwards and giving my thoughts. And I said, look, I'll let you know when the preview's on the site. And I said, oh, would you like a T-shirt? I said, yeah, sure, fine. Would you like Autobot or Decepticon? And I'm always the goodie. You can read posts I've written on this. I'm always the goodie. So I went, yeah, Autobot, definitely. And they went, well, what size would you like? And I said, well, look at me. I'm quite a big bloke, so just give me the biggest one you've got. And this lady ran off, and she came back with the biggest size they had, which turns out to be absolutely huge. I mean, it's like 50%, which kind of only goes to show that, I just completely misjudged what the biggest size you've got at a computer game expo really means.
But you know what it does mean though? It
What?
means for those nights where it gets a little bit chilly, this bromance that me and Phil have got going on, you can snuggle up together.
Yeah, we could do.
It'll be our getting along T-shirt.
Yeah. So on that, really quite distressing mental image of me and Phil wearing a T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's probably time to knock this one on the head. Thank you very much for listening. If you've made it this far, also congratulations for making it this far. Thank you very much for listening. As always, check out our last, be about 3 weeks now of EGX content. We've got interviews up there. We've got previews. We've got our thoughts. We've got our best of. We had a blast. Hopefully that comes across in what you read. You just go nuts on the site and check it all out.
Indeed.
As all these things, we're always on Twitter. Feel free to have a chat with us because we do love talking about games. I promise. Click the like buttons, hit the upvotes, hit whatever you need to do. But it's great.
And if you have any more free T-shirts, feel free to send them on to them.
Yeah, if you're Jagex,
Please.
yeah. But can we just have the almost the biggest size you've got? Not the biggest, but almost the biggest size you've got. Yeah, that'd be great. So yes, yeah. Any freebies, we're completely open to that. He says, trying to sound like some kind of ethical genius.
Nice.
No, I've started a scandal.
Oh, Ben,
Right,
what about the gaming church?
Oh, Gaming Church.
yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, everyone.
No. Look for it. It's going to be a while because I've got a really thick book that they gave me, and I'm still working my way through it. It's about how the Bible relates to gaming. It's pretty hard going, but hopefully I'll be able to kind of get through it and make it accessible, because I think the concept is good. Whether or not the execution is another matter, but we'll talk about that another time. So yes, thank you for listening. Check everything out. Talk to us on Twitter. We love you, and see you soon.
See ya. Bye.